All right, let's get into it. Today, we're going to decode something that, let's be honest, can look a little terrifying when you first see it. The entire assessment calendar for your first year of computer science. We're going to break it all down.
Because when you first get that schedule, it's totally normal to feel a bit swamped. It's just this long list of deadlines, projects, and exams. It seems to stretch on forever. But what if we're looking at it all wrong? You see, this calendar isn't just a series of random tests designed to trip you up. It's actually a map, a very carefully planned journey. Every single assessment is a checkpoint, designed to build your skills piece by piece, taking you from the absolute basics to some really complex stuff. So let's start at the very beginning. Term 1. This whole term is about one thing and one thing only, building a rock-solid foundation. These are the core skills you're going to need for literally everything that comes next. So here's a quick flyby of the big checkpoints for that first term. See how it starts off kind of gentle with some quizzes? Then it ramps up to a design task, and it all culminates in a pretty major research project. Let's dig into what these actually are.
The year kicks off in a really smart way, with pass/fail quizzes. The whole point here isn't to put you under a ton of pressure about grades. It's the exact opposite, really. These are just low-stakes check-ins to make sure you're getting the fundamentals, and to ease you into the rhythm of university-level work.
Then, around the middle of the term, you get two very different but super important projects. On one hand, you've got this system design task. It's all about practical application, taking what you've learned in theory and actually designing something with it. But then, you have the research project for data and information, worth a massive 60%, and that flips the script. It's all about deep analysis and academic research skills. This is a perfect example of how they're asking you to flex two totally different mental muscles, right from the get-go. And of course, there are some more traditional tests to round out the term. But notice the different weights: 40% for logic, 25% for information systems, and that pass-fail final for programming. That's sending a really clear message. The focus isn't on getting 100%, it's on proving you've got those core coding skills down solid before you move on to more advanced topics. Okay, let's jump into Term 2. If Term 1 was about building the foundation, Term 2 is all about application and, this part's key, articulation. See, it's not enough to just know how to do something. You have to be able to apply it and then explain it clearly to other people. And you can see this shift immediately in the timeline for Term 2. Yeah, you've got a big software project, but look what follows it. A viva, an oral presentation, a group reflection. The spotlight is definitely moving towards communication skills. Your biggest programming assessment is basically a 1-2 punch. First, there's the implementation, which is half the grade. That's the coding part, the hands-on building. But then comes the second part, the viva. You don't just hand in your code and call it a day. You have to stand there and defend it.
So, what on earth is a viva? Think of it as an oral defense. It's where you have to talk through your project, explain why you made certain design choices, and answer questions on the spot. And why is this so important? Well, it tests your understanding on a way deeper level. It proves that you didn't just write code that happens to work, you actually understand the logic behind it.
And that theme of communication just keeps on going. I mean, you've got an oral presentation that's worth a whopping 40% of one module's grade, and a group reflection worth 25%. This is the university telling you loud and clear, being able to work in a team and present your ideas are core skills for a computer scientist, not just optional soft skills. And finally, you hit the end of year hurdles. But even here, it's not just a wall of exams. Look at the variety. One module wraps up with a 100% practical lab assessment. Another ends with a traditional 100% final exam. And others use exams that are weighted differently. It's a real mix-and-match approach right to the very end. So, let's zoom out. Let's look at the big picture. What does all of this whole structure, add up to? Well, it's a journey that's designed to build you into a complete computer scientist. If there is one single thing to take away from all this, it's this. Your first year is not just a mad scramble towards a couple of big final exams. The learning is continuous, so the assessments are too. And, as we've just seen, they come in all shapes and sizes. I want you to think of each of these assessment types as a new tool that you're adding to your professional toolkit. By the time you finish this year, you won't just have tools for coding. You'll have tools for research, for design, for teamwork, and for explaining and defending your ideas when you're under pressure. And you know, there's a huge practical benefit to setting things up this way. As the source material points out, by having all these staggered milestones spread out,
the whole system is designed to help you manage your workload and, hopefully, avoid that massive, dreaded end-of-year crunch.
So I'll just leave you with this final thought to chew on. As you're tackling each of these different challenges, ask yourself this: how does this variety, this blend of practical work, theory, writing, and speaking, play to different people's strengths? And maybe more importantly, how is it actively helping you build a much broader, more resilient set of skills for your future in computer science?